All right, guys. So we have heard a lot of nonsensical news about people saying that the Bombay Goa Highway will be operational in June and the journey will be reduced to 6 hours, which is absolutely ridiculous. We keep traveling to Goa and that's not possible. So we have this Polo that we have done a story on. It does 0 to 100 in 8.5 seconds. No bullshit, 200 kilometers per hour, and we are not going to be taking any stops. And let's realistically see, along with Karan, as to how much time it actually takes to reach Goa. Let's get started with it. Can you hold this car? Let's buckle up. What's the time right now? 4:42 in the morning. Let's go. Music go. Well, we are onto the expressway in about 40 minutes. Typically, it takes more than 1 hour. About 1 hour, 10 or 20 minutes. Sometimes even 1.5 hours, depending on traffic. So, good start. But this will be possible only if you start early like we did. So it's less than an hour since we started from my place, which is in the eastern suburbs, Kolad, and it's not a very easy exit like some of the people in New Bombay would just get out and they'll be on the expressway. Still 3 minutes to go, and we are through with the expressway, which is fantastic because typically on a day when you have traffic, it'll take up to 2 hours, and it's amazing. 1 hour, and we are through with the expressway. Good start. Let's see how much time we can make from this point onwards. So we'll be taking the Khopoli exit just to let the audience know this is not the Pune end of the expressway. This is the first exit that you have after the first toll plaza. And from this point onwards, we'll carry on from NH66. There's some work going on NH66. We'll try to avoid it by taking a diversion. And we'll let you know where to take the diversion if you want to save some time. This is Nagothane, and it's taken us about an hour and a half to reach here. Typically about 2.5 hours from my place. And the road surface is good. And from this point onward, we should be able to carry very good speeds because it's all concretized. There are a couple of sections where some work is going on, but we have tried to figure out some diversions. So let's see how it goes. At this point in time, I think it's going rather well, and getting out early in the morning makes a big difference. And we'll keep you posted as we move forward. Next stop should be Mahad. So this stretch here at Kolad is quite bad, and it's going to make you slow down to about 20-30 kilometers per hour. There's another route that goes through Bali, which is a better surface, but it takes more time, so it still makes sense to take this route. We'll save about 20 minutes, about 10-15 kilometers of back patch, and once you reach Mangaon, beyond that point, you'll have better surface, but until that point, you'll have concrete road which is interspersed by these tar sections which have not been able to withstand the downpour and are quite bad in terms of the surfacing, so you really have to slow down. So this is the first real bad patch that we have come across, and I really hope that this improves because this is slowing us down drastically. So guys, we have crossed Mahad in about 2.5 hours, and typically this would take you about 4 hours. but since we did not find any traffic and the road conditions are not exactly complaint worthy, but not perfect either, we are making good time. Chiplun typically takes about 5 to 5.5 hours, and I think if we continue at this pace, we should reach Chiplun in about 3.5 hours, which would be fantastic. This tunnel has been there for quite some time. Earlier, it used to be quite treacherous ghat. This is the Kashedi Ghat. And because of the four laning and because of this tunnel, the travel time has been reduced drastically. So, of course, travel time has reduced, but to say that you'll reach Goa in 6 hours is quite an exaggeration. But Chiplun, I've been many times and it used to be quite a pain, and this tunnel is a blessing. Going by the time right now, 7:25, it seems like we will reach Chiplun by 8:10ish, which is fantastic again. And so far, so good. I think you would be able to make a lot of time if you start early in the morning. So as we can see that the beautiful city of Chiplun is in sight now, and as we roll down Parshuram Ghat, we still have 7 minutes to spare. So yeah, 3 hours and 20 minutes to Chiplun, which is not bad at all, because Chiplun typically is considered roughly halfway to Goa. So about 3.5 hours halfway to Goa. So now we are wondering, what if you start from New Bombay and technically think of Sawantwadi as Goa? If you have a very fast car, I'm not sure about that though, but looking at the times, if you have a very fast car and you start from New Bombay and you technically think of Sawantwadi as the beginning of Goa, you actually can cover that entire distance in 6.5, 7 hours. I'm not sure because we'll still have to see how good or bad the condition of the road ahead is. But the journey thus far has been surprising for us. Let's see if we can make it in about 8 hours. That would not be bad. That would not be an exaggeration if they call it 6 hours, because if this entire stretch is properly made, then one day, who knows, you may be able to do it in 6 hours. But as of now, things look good. So there has been a driver switchover. We have done roughly around 250, 260 kilometers, and now from this point onwards, there is about 300 kilometers more remaining before we enter Goa. And ghats which reduce the speed somewhat are around Chiplun, and after this point, we should have a fairly straight stretch. And typically, what really takes time is to get out of Mumbai and to get onto NH66. And about 30, 40 odd kilometers after Chiplun, there is a stretch which is bad where the concrete has still not been laid out. We'll try to avoid that. And you have to take a diversion from Sangameshwar from there. And after about 30 odd kilometers, you get back onto NH66. So that would be a stretch that we're expecting will slow us down somewhat. We'll let you know the exact point once we reach there. As of now, we want to go to Kolwa, which is way deep into Goa. It's South Goa, and for that, just 309 kilometers. It's showing 6 hours and 8 minutes. My estimation is that we should be able to touch Goa. That's Sawantwadi in the next 3.5 hours or so. At this point in time, it's 8:40. Okay, I want to get my watch as well. And we have made good time. So this is the internal road which begins from Sangameshwar, and you have to go to Devrug and Watul. This entire stretch is about 30-35 odd kilometers, and the surface, as you can see, is a lot better than what you'd find if you are on NH66. So the surface here saves you some time because you are able to carry better average speeds. You can travel at about 60 odd kilometers per hour. So this is where that interior road joins the NH66, and now we are heading back onto the well-paved surface of NH66. Traversed about 50 odd kilometers, 55 odd kilometers, and it saved us a lot of time because otherwise we would have to uh, travel over surface which doesn't allow you to drive over 20-30 kilometers per hour. Inside, we were able to manage about 60 odd, so we saved some time. From this point onward, if I look at the map and I put Sawantwadi, so in effect, we have uh, managed to see a timeline which changed from about 10 hours to if we touch Sawantwadi in the next 1 hour, we would have reached Goa from my place in 6 hours, which I ridiculed before I got into the car. So let's see what happens. So this is the second pit stop, and we're getting some fuel filled. It's 11 o'clock, and we are about 8 kilometers from this place called Patra Devi. So we're well in time, and even after taking 2 fuel breaks and 3 cigarette breaks because of this guy, uh, I think we'll be able to reach from the eastern suburbs of Mumbai, which is Mulund, to Patra Devi, which is the entrance to Goa, in about 6.5 hours, which is not bad at all. So, in effect, technically, you actually can do Mumbai to Goa in 6 hours if you're starting from New Bombay. We just passed the Maharashtra checkpost, so basically, we are out of Maharashtra now, and we have entered Goa. And the time, as you can see, is 11:14, 6.5 hours. And are we in Goa now technically? In about 5 more minutes. So which state is this? This is the that was the Maharashtra checkpost. Now you will see the Goa checkpost. There's somewhere in between these 2 points is the border. So yeah, basically we are between borders right now. And long story short, if you're starting from New Bombay, you have a fast car and a good driver, and you don't take too many breaks. We took 2 fuel breaks, and if you have a longer range, you definitely can drive between Mumbai and Goa in 6 hours. That is technically possible now. So the claim is not as ridiculous as it sounded when we started off. And from this point onwards, it depends on where you have to go, and the roads are narrow inside. Once the highway ends, as we know, Goa doesn't have very wide lanes. There are very strict speed checks, and the traffic police is also very strict. So it's not advisable to push after you uh, are done with the highway. But purely from a technical standpoint, if you start from New Bombay and consider the border of Goa as your endpoint for your timekeeping, you can in 6 hours cover the distance as demonstrated today by the Polo GT TDI, which has been modified with Bilstein suspension and a Code 6 engine. That's the Goa remap. And then we have the Goa border. 11:16. We started at 11:42, 43. Roughly 6.5 hours. We started from a suburb which is not on the border of Mumbai. It takes about half an hour, 45 minutes to get out. If you are in New Bombay, you'd be able to save that time. So 6 hours is possible. So that's that, guys. As you can see, this hotel is on highway number 66. This is in Toxem, Pednem, Goa. And this is only to establish that we indeed have reached Goa with this beautiful machine right here. I drove halfway and Karan drove halfway. And it took us 6.5 hours. So ridiculous as the claim may have sounded initially, but you can drive to Goa from New Bombay if you have a fast car and a quick driver in 6 hours. So the claim is not as ridiculous as it sounded. Thanks a lot for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed. If you like the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Motoroids, and until next time, this is Amit Changani signing off. Rev hard, rev free, and drive safe.